There is a silent threat looming over your retirement, one that you probably are not aware of and one that is definitely not being talked about, that has the potential to erode the most effective retirement planning strategy that I've ever used in my 26-year career. We have arrived at a crossroads, a unique set of circumstances that I've never seen, that we have never seen in the history of the United States, and has created this hidden window of opportunity. If you are 60 to 67 years old and you've done a great job building up that 401k or IRA balance, but the window of opportunity will be closing, and if you miss it, very likely you'll be facing a much higher tax bill in retirement than you realize. My name is Christian Sear. I'm a CPA, certified financial planner, and the founder of the Aim Retirement System. In this video today, I'm going to share with you why I do not believe Roth conversions are going to be nearly as effective in the future as they have been in the past. I'm going to show you that the hidden window, what it is, how it was created, and why retirees currently are probably getting bad advice on this very crucial topic. Make sure you stay till the end because I will show you the way that you can potentially still save hundreds of thousands, even in some cases 7 figures in taxes before this window closes, even if you are still working. The Aim Retirement System, we attempt to build what we call the perfect retirement. We do this by essentially shrinking the 30-year risk window, which is in your retirement, down to 10 years or less. We do this a lot of ways. One of the ways is we try and eliminate or at least reduce your stock market risk. We do that by replacing your paycheck with some sort of guaranteed income that gives you income stability. But the retirement risk window isn't just about investments and income. In fact, reducing taxes in retirement, if you do it properly, is usually one of the biggest things, if not the biggest improvement that you can do to your retirement plan. But this is what is now at risk and the topic of today's video. I've been a CPA, wealth planner, call it what you want, for quite a while now. And I don't know how many retirement plans I've been a part of, supervised, been involved in. But for me, the one strategy that moves the needle more than anything in retirement plans is the tax strategy. Now, the biggest piece of that tax strategy is the Roth conversion. And now potentially the Roth conversion has a shelf life due to 2 key factors, which I'm going to share with you. They have all this on the line, and here's what they look like. On one side, you have the United States federal debt. I'm not sure most Americans realize the seriousness of this issue. Researchers such as Wharton and others have made it very clear that the escalating debt problem that has really put us on the potential towards devastation is serious. Okay, that is true both here at home in the U.S. and globally, because essentially the world's financial system, it literally rests on the shoulders of the United States. Wharton has also made it very clear that there are only one of 2 ways to fix this problem. Option 1, on one hand, is cutting about $2 trillion out of the federal budget. Option 2, and I quote from Wharton, an immediate and permanent increase of 33% on all federal taxes. I've said it a lot on this channel if you've watched before, but for me, option number 1, cutting $2 trillion out of the U.S. budget, is simply not a reality. So the only real path to tackling this massive debt problem, this debt issue, is through revenue, which is basically increased taxes. Now, if you have $1 million or more in your 401k or IRA, I need you to hear this. Retirees generally correctly assume that lawmakers, if they do want to increase taxes, they tend to go after the people in the higher tax brackets. However, what most of you do not realize is that if you do have a larger 401k or IRA, you are not one of those people, okay? And you usually don't understand this until it's too late, because retirees with a larger retirement will generally find themselves in the 25%, 28%, even the 32% tax bracket in their retirement, due mainly because of the required minimum distributions that they are forcing you to take out of that retirement fund. When I talk to retirees about a potential 33% tax hike, a lot of times the first response I get is that's not going to happen. That seems like a lot. Is that really true? They tend to be a little bit doubtful, but I'm quick to remind them that we were there 45 years ago, okay? Effective tax rates in the United States of America were about 33% higher back in the early 80s. I also remind them that compared to most other developed nations, we as U.S. citizens are in a great spot, okay? We have one of the lowest tax burdens of any developed nation. Countries like Canada, the UK, Australia, the Netherlands, most of Europe, they all have much higher income taxes than we do. So the second thing that is coming upon us is that the current political situation we have that's really just come upon us in the last few months. The White House, as you might remember, campaigned heavily in 2024 during the elections on keeping taxes low. And they have proven lately that if they have something on their mind, if they are committed to an idea, they are going to do their best to see it through. So I don't see any way that they don't extend what we have right now, which is all-time low tax rates. So anyway, what we have right now is this unique but limited opportunity to take advantage of that tax planning. So let me show you what that looks like and how it can potentially benefit you. So what I'm showing you here is historical tax rates, okay, going back to 1980, and here we are today. You can see we're at very low tax rates right here because of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which went into effect basically in 2016. You can see the tax rates have been slowly going down over the last 45 years. As I said earlier, tax rates were essentially 33% higher 45 years ago, right? Oppositely, our debt has been going up and up and up, all right? When you look at, while our tax rates were high back in the 80s, our debt to GDP was 33%. So debt divided by GDP, 33%, no problem. That is actually a huge problem today. The whole point of this video is that this right here is the major problem. How are we going to fix it? When we're talking about taxes, though, this low, all-time low, or one of the lowest tax rates we've ever seen in the United States of America is basically going to continue to the end of 2025, and then it's going to revert back to what it was back in good old 2017, okay? So stop right here. As I'm a financial planner, I'm using tax software. I'm giving people advice based on this tax software, and I'm saying, look, this looks like a great opportunity for a nice, long, drawn-out Roth conversion right here. Taxes, are they going to be a little higher next year? Yeah, but they're still, relatively speaking, they're not what they were back in the 80s. So let's do a Roth conversion. Maybe we'll do it over 10 years. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep you a really low tax bracket. Let's get that done. This is not the picture of reality, because what you have is a Republican Congress, a Republican White House that's going to extend these low tax rates for at least another 2 or 3 years. And also, what we know, according to the Congressional Budget Office, is that this debt is going to continue to be a problem, okay? They're forecasting it to be 135, even 140% of GDP. This problem is not going to go away. And remember what I said, this problem trumps any political agenda. So what's really going to happen here, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to be sooner than later, is you're going to see actual tax rates go up here. Okay? This is creating this unique window of opportunity. Okay, we've got 2, 3, maybe 4 years while these tax rates are still low. This is the window of opportunity right here. Don't be fooled by what the software is telling you that the tax rates are just going to go up. They're going to go up like this. So that's the status that we're in right now. That window of opportunity is there. It's real. The tax cuts are going to get extended. But I'm curious what you think. Put your comment in. I always love hearing people agree and disagree with me. That's what I think is going to happen. But I'm going to show you, it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. You want to be able to take advantage of this opportunity generally sooner than later, no matter what happens. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so this is just an example right here. I want to be clear about that, but it's a very typical example. So this couple just turned 62, and they're going to work till they're 65, okay? So they've got 3 more years to work. They have done a good job saving their 401k IRA balance. Remember, this has never been taxed. This 401k IRA balance has never been taxed. Right now, today, it's at $1.5 million. I've got 3 columns here. They're all about income taxes paid. Column number 1 is the couple. I call it mom and dad. Okay, this is the amount of taxes that they are going to pay for the rest of their life, okay? This is the children. Now, this $1.5 million, remember, mom and dad are going to take RMDs out of this, which is will make this $1.5 million go down, but it's actually also going to grow as well, which will make it go up. So in this particular circumstance, 95, when they pass away, they're going to be giving their children about $1.5 million that still has never been taxed. And so they're going to have tax consequences too from that IRA that they inherit. This is the total taxes of both mom, dad, and the kids. Now, I've given you 3 circumstances here. Scenario A, B, and C. All right. A is they decide they don't want to do Roth conversion. B is that they're going to do a Roth conversion, but they're going to start it when they retire, which is pretty popular advice these days, to wait till you retire. And option C is, no, you know what? Let's just start this Roth conversion now. I think I should get it over with. I saw a video from some guy, and he said generally getting it done sooner or later makes sense. We have 2 sets of ideas. One is that I'm completely wrong and that the current tax law will just continue to go. That's what I talked about here. This guy's completely crazy. Taxes are not going to go up. Or what if I am right? What if Wart is right? And what if taxes do go up? Okay. So those are the circumstances we're going to show here. So you can see lesson number 1 from this is always examine the opportunity of Roth conversion. Okay. So we're not talking about our taxes going up or not. We're just talking about if everything is status quo for the rest of our lives, what does it look like if we do a Roth conversion? So these people, if they do not do a Roth conversion, I know it sounds like a lot, but they're going to pay $1.5 million in federal taxes over their entire life. Okay. They choose to do a Roth conversion when they retire at age 65. They're only going to pay $694,000 in federal taxes. So you can see in our Aim Retirement System, they are saving about $834,000 in taxes because they did the Roth conversion. In addition to that, their children are saving, about $300,000 or more. And so you're talking about a Roth conversion for this couple with $1.5 million in IRAs and 401ks. They're going to save about $1.1 million. So lesson number 1, make sure you at least explore the opportunity of a Roth conversion, no matter what situation you're in. So now let's take it a step further. Now I'm introducing this 3rd idea, which is, hey, why don't we start doing this now? Even though we are still working, let's just do it now. Let's start getting it out of the way because we don't know what's going to happen to tax. And what you can see is that this is better than this, and their kids are going to pay less. And overall, they're saving money. So lesson number 2 is, I think, in all cases, you really need to explore, in most cases that I have seen in the last 5 to 10 years, starting this now is usually better than starting it later. Everyone's situation is different, but it's important to understand that even if you are still working, you really want to explore the idea of doing this now while you're still at work. Okay, so now we're presenting all the different options, and lesson number 3 is use the window of opportunity that I'm talking about today, okay? Because in every case, you're better off, and in this case, much better off. Look at this. Your kids, in this particular example, they're actually paying nothing from the IRA they inherited from their mom and dad. Why? Because mom and dad did a Roth conversion, took advantage of the 3 to 4 year window, which was a gift to them back in good old 25, 26, and 27. But the big point here is that, look, either way, as we said, the Roth conversion is going to be worth a lot of money. If taxes do not change, this whole video is wrong, taxes are not going to go up, Roth conversion is going to save this family $1.1 million. But if taxes do go up, if this actually happens like we think it will because of the debt problem, the Roth advantage is about a $1.5 million savings. That's a huge advantage. So if you look at this screen, again, back to my tax rate screen, if I'm wrong, Roth conversion means $1.1 million of savings to this family. If I'm right, it means $1.5 million in savings. There are 400,000 reasons why this family would want to take advantage of this window, okay? Number 3, take advantage of the window. Look, worst case, nothing happens, you're still better off, but there's a good chance that you might be way better off by doing it now. Because if I'm right, this window closes and now you're not going to want to do a Roth conversion up here when tax rates are 33% higher. You get what I'm saying? Little bonus thing, number 4, as I said earlier, here's the White House. They're trying to keep tax rates low. Here is the debt issue right here. Remember, the debt issue trumps politics. The debt issue trumps politics. Take advantage of this window. So I hope you found this interesting and informative, or maybe even useful. If you did, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up so people just like you can see some of the same information that you saw today. And consider subscribing to this channel for more retirement knowledge just like this. I will leave you with this for the day. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I've seen taxes go up. I've seen taxes go down. But I have never seen the USA in a situation like we're in today. If I am right, you have about 3 or 4 years to get this tax burden out of the way before the window closes. And even if I'm wrong, it generally pays, as I showed you, to get the taxes out of the way earlier in retirement, starting optimally around 60. And that Roth conversion window generally goes up to the time you start doing your Social Security payments, okay? So if you're interested in seeing what the Aim Retirement System is all about, what the perfect retirement might look like for you, including sneaking in that Roth conversion before the window closes, click the first link in the description below, just like this, and we can have a quick conversation. It's easy, it takes 20 minutes. In the worst case, we have a conversation about the things that interested you in today's video. Best case, you find a better retirement. Either way, I thank you for watching today's video. My name is Christian Sear, CPA, and I'll see you in the next one.
Investment advisory services provided by Sear Financial Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor. All content on this YouTube channel is for information purposes only and should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. Material presented is believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations are made by our firm as to another party's informational accuracy or completeness. Neither Sear Financial Incorporated nor its representatives provide tax or legal advice, and nothing herein should be construed as such. Always consult with your tax advisor or attorney regarding your specific circumstances.